What's up, guys? Wade Willis here for Wade Reacts, here for my playthrough of Umineko. I believe this is episode 5, part 8, and the epitaph has been solved by Erica and Battler. We haven't seen Battler turn into Ava Battler, Battler Beatrice yet, so I think that's possibly pretty significant. But I don't know. We'll see what happens from here. And yeah, guys, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to my channel for tons of When They Cry content. And yeah, let's get into it.
Hibun, 解けたな。お前のお望み通りに。お前がゲームマスターの時にはいつも手紙が来るもんな。碑文を解いてみろ。
Leave it.
解けなきゃ皆殺しだ。みたいな。
Come on, talk, homegirl. Why does she want to make us solve the riddle of the epitaph? By solving it, we found a mountain of gold. Yippee for us. And what about Beto? Does she gain anything by having us find the gold? Or does she lose something?
チェスパン思考にのっとる限り、人は自らが損になる一手は打たない。だからお前は、俺たちが碑文を解くことで何か得をするはずだ。
I mean, that's solid thought process.
いいえ、碑文を誰かが解くことで、この子が何かを得ることはありません。
Right, but does she maybe lose something that is bad?
いいのか？こいつに断らずに、勝手に赤き真実を使っちまっても。
この子もそれを望むでしょうから。
Vergiliae, who had suddenly appeared there, quickly gave an answer to my question with a red truth.
俺は過去に、ベアトが碑文を俺たちに解かす黄金の隠し場所を見つけさせて、横取りするためだと推理したことがある。それも違うのか？
はい。第一、もともと黄金鏡の黄金はこの子のもの。見つけさせる必要も、横取りする必要も何もありません。
Alright, that's actually kind of good to know. Of course. Beato is Beatrice the Golden. Isn't she the master of the Golden Land and the Ushiromiya alchemist? That totally makes sense. However, that makes me feel even more confused. Even if someone exposed the answer to the epitaph's riddle, Beato has nothing to gain. No, to the contrary, her own gold might be stolen away.
なら、ますますにわからない。碑文殺人はわかる。後ろ宮家に対する復讐とか、あるいは、魔女としての力を復活させるための儀式とか、こいつなりの理由や目的があってやってるんだろうからな。だが、碑文の謎を解けというのには、俺たちが解いても解かなくても、こいつに得るものは何もない。
Well, I guess because the percent chance that they could, the likelihood that they could solve the epitaph made her powers stronger too, right? But I don't think that that's the only thing.
つまり、ベアトにとって、碑文の謎が解ける解けないという問題は、無価値なものなんだ。
そうですね。碑文の謎が解けても解けなくても、この子にとって得るものは何もありません。
Okay. That still doesn't really address
解け
what
て
I
も
was
解け
saying.
なくても、何の意味もない。それはつまり、碑文の謎自体がベアトにとって無価値だということになるんじゃないのか。
そうですね。碑文の謎は、この子にとって何の意味もない。ならばそれを 無価値であると極論しても言い返せないかもしれませんね。
Yes, I see you, young lady. You're being a good girl, huh? Okay. I love you. Beto, why are you making us solve the epitaph's riddle? If we liken the witch you are to a pair of scales, the epitaph murders lie on one plate, and the riddle of the epitaph lies on the other plate. After all, she's saying she'll stop the epitaph murders if the epitaph is solved. The issue is that the Ava Beatrice one, she solved it but then did the murders. So that thing is kind of weird to me because I thought that they were going to be done, but maybe it was for the powers of Beatrice. In other words, the epitaph murders and the epitaph riddle are not worth the same to Beto. Like two sides on a balanced scale. That means that both the epitaph's riddle and massacring all the relatives are equally significant from Beato's point of view. I guess I misspoke in the last thing, sorry. But Virgilia responded with the red truth. Regardless of whether the epitaph is solved or not, Beato has nothing to gain. If she has nothing to gain, then this epitaph's riddle is meaningless and immaterial to Beato. In that case, how much are the epitaph murders which lie on the other side of the scales are equal to the epitaph's riddle in value? Keep it over there. Worth to her. Think. Don't stop thinking. The epitaph murders and solving the riddle of the epitaph have equal worth. As long as the epitaph murders, which are Beato's goal each time, have this single way that they can be stopped, a way that she decided on herself, both are worth the same thing to her. How do you know that? Okay, x equals y, and whether the epitaph's riddle is solved or not, Beato has nothing to gain. Y equals 0. So in this case, what is x?
おいおい。それじゃ、非分殺人もまた、無意味、無価値ってことになっちまうぞ。
Right?
こいつは、ご丁寧に予告状を出し、非分に沿うように順番にバレないように次々殺していくというめちゃくちゃ面倒な手間を払ってまで、毎度あのおかしな連続殺人を起こしてるんだぜ。その意味が、なくなっちまうじゃねえか。
I spun the chessboard around and searched through Beato's moves over and over again. This is always the first place I stumble. The significance of the epitaph murders. Why did she have to commit serial murders in a way that reproduced the witch's epitaph? If she wanted to kill the whole Ushiromiya family for her revenge, it'd be much simpler and safer and more reliable if she just put poison into their dinner, right? Or else went around killing people one by one in the middle of the night while they were sleeping. However, on the first evening, Beato sent us a letter that sounded like an advance notice, and then carried a 3-part serial murder, large gaps in between. The 6 people of the first twilight, the 2 people of the second twilight, and the 5 people of the fourth and later twilights. We aren't fools. Once the first murders occur, we barricade ourselves somewhere and stave off any further murders. Furthermore, we quickly suspect a culprit among us and start analyzing each other's alibis. As the victims increase, the number of suspects decreases automatically, and Beato's chances of success in the serial murder drop closer and closer to 0. All of the epitaph murders are like she's strangling her own neck, making it harder to succeed in the serial murder she's attempting. All for a useless embellishment, all just for show.
こいつは、自分で自分の目的の難易度を上げている。
そうなりますね。おかしな子ですね。
Violet, go lay down.
知ってるか？ ミステリー小説ではこういう非分殺人のことをこの見立て殺人が行われる理由を俺は3つに大別的に思ってる。
Ah, excuse me.
伺いましょう。
一つは非分に沿うことで証拠やアリバイをごまかし犯人に利するためだ。死んだふりをして自らを犠牲者に混ぜる古典もこれだし、非分に沿わずに殺人を犯し、その発生順序を誤解させることによってアリバイを作るのもこれだ。
なるほど。非分に沿って儀式的に殺していると見せかけて、実は自分に利するように誘導しているわけですね。
Interesting.
面白いと思います。
だが、俺たちのゲームでは死者が赤でとどめを刺されちまう。ゲーム版の世界ではごまかせても、ここから俯瞰する俺たちはごまだから、この最も王道となる目的は違うってことだ。
sassy with me. Violet, go lay down. Jesus, her noises are so ridiculous.
となると、見立て殺人を行うあと2つの理由は？
一つは偶然。意図せずして行った連続殺人がたまたま非分をなぞる形になり、目撃者たちが勝手に見立て殺人だと誤解するケース。人間はどのような事象にも因果性を求めてしまう。きっとそうに違いないと思ったら。
That is very true that people always try to like fit things into.
なるほど。それも面白いですね。ですがどうでしょう。この子のゲームでは第一の番の殺人以前に常に事件が予告されている。そして明白に非分殺人を遂行していることを示す手紙や状況証拠が次々に見つかるはずです。
Yeah, I feel like that one's kind of like, oh, randomly there's a thing in someone's knee and we assume that. I don't know about that.
ああ、そうだな。偶然なんかじゃない。ベアトは初めから非分殺人を見せつける目的で遂行している。俺たちが誤解してるんじゃない。これは明白な見立て殺人なんだ。だからこの理由でもない。
となると、最後の一つの理由になりますね。
For fun?
最後の一つは、見せつけること。つまり恐怖だ。非分に沿うということは、殺人が連続するという明白な予告だ。生存者たちは、続くに違いない殺人に、ずっと怯えさせられることになる。
つまりこの子は、死の恐怖を味わわせるために非分殺人を。
Which is the opposite of what she has, right? That she's
割と収まりがいい。
essentially immortal in a way.
グロい遺体損壊も悪趣味な装飾もすべて俺たちを怖がらせるための演出。
誰を怖がらせるためなのですか？
だから
Who's
それは俺
us
たち
though?
の
You, right? After hearing that one line, Virgilia spoke so casually, my thoughts clouded over once again. It is really sufficient to use the vague word us. There are many humans in the Ushiromiya family. There's the head and the one who holds the rank of his successor, grandfather, and Uncle Kraus. Then there's relatives who have some pull in the business world. On the other side, you have the young cousins who usually visit at most once a year. And the unfortunate servants who just happen to be on duty that day. Even if the culprit hates all of us, there should be a clear difference as to how much they hate us compared to the others. So it should be possible to pick out among us that the culprit especially wanted to terrorize or have revenge against. If we liken this to a kid eating dessert, is it the strawberry on top of a shortcake the part you should eat last? No one tells you that you should eat it first, but our mentality encourages us to save it for later.
じゃあ、最も恨んでいる人物を最後まで残したがるってことになるよな。
Which is him, because he's always the last, or one of the last.
ああ、俺の好きな小説の好きなキャラが言ってたぜ。そいつの親しいものから先に殺していって、悲しみを味わわせてから最後に本人を殺すってのが一番恐ろしい殺し方なんだ。みたいなことを。
おやおや、恐ろしい小説もあったものですね。桑原桑原。
じゃあ、最後まで生き残る奴が最もベアトに恨まれてるって論法になるぜ。しかし、毎回殺される人間も順序がめちゃくちゃじゃねえか。
He's the only one that makes it to the end every time, right?
最終的には死ぬにせよ。最後の晩まで毎回生き残る奴なんて。
Yeah, you're the only one, fool. I'm the only one. Yeah, we knew that.
先に赤で申し上げておきま
I
しょ
think
う。
she loves him. She doesn't hate him, but
バトラ君は犯人ではありませんよ。
oh, fair enough. That is, how have I never thought that? But that honestly would have answered a lot of the things.
バトラ君は誰も殺してはいません。
Why did I not even think about that once?
これはすべてのゲームにおいて言えることです。
ならなおのこと、俺ってことになる。こいつが非分殺人を起こす唯一の理由は、俺に見せつけるためってことになる。
Every time Beto brags that she'll choose whom she kills next with a roulette. However, I'm the only one she never kills. Although she does kill me in the end, she leaves me until the very last moment. In all of these supposedly random games, there's only one. There's only this one unchanging constant.
こいつは俺に復讐を、俺に恐怖を味わわせるために非分殺人を行ってい
I'm
る
trying
と
to
いう
figure out what the fluff he could have done.
それは違います。恐怖を味わわせるのが目的ではありません。
She's trying to show them something, but I don't think maybe save her. She thinks he can save her.
誰かに復讐するためのもので
Yeah,
もありま
it's
せん。
to have him save her, I think.
なら、やはり非分殺人には意味なんてないことになる。非分の謎も無意味。
No.
対となる非分殺人も無意味。X イコール Y イコール0。だが、その無意味をこいつは明白に俺に対して見せつけている。無意味なことと同価値の何を俺に求めているんだ。
Her life? Maybe she considers her life meaning worth 0.
わからねえ。考えれば考えるほどにこいつが何を考えているのか。
If she considers herself 0, if she hates herself so much that she considers herself 0, then she could be on the island the whole time and not mess up the count, correct? Don't let me know if I'm right. Beatrice, the fickle witch who committed a meaningless, worthless string of murders. Even the epitaph's riddle, which that witch uses a trigger that could be suspended, that could suspend the serial murders, is meaningless immaterial. And yet, she's thrusting this meaningless immaterial thing in front of my face. What is that you want from me? Or else, what is it that you're giving me? My idea is Beto has been clearly taking revenge on me has already been denied by Virgilia's red truth, both X and Y. Both the epitaph murders and the epitaph riddle hold no meaning for Beatrice. X equals Y equals 0. Correct me if I'm wrong here. I did not see that Virgilia said that they mean nothing to her, just that she gains nothing from them. Those don't mean the same thing. However, since she's thrusting those things in front of me, they must have some meaning. She showed us the scales representing if you don't solve the epitaph, I'll carry out the epitaph murders. In other words, neither the epitaph murders nor the epitaph riddle have significance by themselves. However, it becomes meaningful when she puts both halves on the scales and puts them on display before us. No, before me. In other words, it should be like this. X equals 0, Y equals 0. X plus Y is greater than 0. A scale with meaningless, weightless things on both sides. However, it has weight itself and gives the rest meaning.
まるで子供のじゃんけんみたいだ。
Rock, paper, scissors is an extremely familiar method of randomly determining a winner and loser. If you wager some sort of reward on the outcome, but the kids often do rock, paper, scissors just to play without betting anything in particular. Unless you bet something, you have nothing to gain or lose except happiness and frustration. In other words, the two sides of the scale, both winning and losing, are immaterial. However, the very act of seeing which way it will tip is the reason kids play rock, paper, scissors. After all, the kids are enjoying communication that surrounds the game. And they aren't purely interested in the value of winning and losing. They aren't overly concerned about who wins and who loses.
それじゃベアトにとって非分殺人は
It's the act of playing.
成功してもしなくてもいいものってことになっちまう。まるでその過程そのものを楽しんでいるかのようにさえ思える。以前の俺なら無意味な殺人を繰り返す非道な魔女だと決めつけ、こいつを罵っただろうさ。だが今の俺にはそうと。
ありがとう。だから
Oh,
赤をもう
alright.
一つ与
Dang,
え
we're
ましょ
getting
う。
like lit up with red. This
ベアトは快楽目的で殺人を行っていることはありません。
She didn't do it for pleasure, and she didn't do it to make anyone feel fear. Since she has nothing to gain, she doesn't care whether the epitaph murders succeed or fail. It's almost like a random game kids would play.
違う。意味があるんだ。こいつには。
意味とは何ですか？
わからない。天秤の両端は無価値だ。こいつにとってこの天秤はしっかりと重みあるものなんだ。
Of course it isn't meaningless. Some meaning definitely exists. In the previous game she urged me to remember the sin of 6 years ago. Am I supposed to believe that was meaningless too?
違う。絶対にそんなことはない。
I clearly remember the serious gaze Beto had back then. Unfortunately, I didn't have a clue what she meant. When she saw that she was horribly dejected. That's right. At that time, I'm sure she even went as far to say the crime wouldn't have occurred if I hadn't come.
意味はあるんだ。こいつにとっては意味が。そしてそれを俺に求めてる。
I laughed softly and I poked Beto lightly on the head, then patted her head.
ラブレターには次からは好きですと短く書くことを勧めるぜ。あまり回りくどくて難解だと意味が伝わらねえぞ。こいつが何を考えてるのか相変わらずさっぱりさ。 だが
So we're gonna have a flashback of 6 years ago at some point, right?
俺は考えることをやめないぜ。まだまだチェス盤をひっくり返せ。お前の思考をたどる旅を。俺は絶対にくじけないからな。
Oh yeah, we still have all this, because this is still the first night, right? Battler did nothing but gaze blankly out the window. The fighting between the relatives went on without end. At first, the relatives had crowded around the study. However, no matter how much they knocked, the master of the study did not answer, even once. Ava and several others said they should open the door with a second key, the one Genji held. However, in a flash of brilliance, Etsui said that Kinto had been in a particular bad mood and had taken back the key he'd previously given Genji, which meant that he now had both keys himself. She claimed that this was the reason they couldn't open the door. After she promised to let them meet Kinto tomorrow morning no matter what, they finally returned to the dining hall. But of course, the argument continued on even there. Ava's group needed a lot of cash very soon, and they were trying to threaten Kraus somehow to make him pay up. Apparently, Battler solving the epitaph threatened Kraus's position as a successor, which gave the others a powerful tailwind. The other side, Kraus and Etsui, based their argument on the claim that it had never been specified that the ownership of the gold would be handed over to the person who solved the epitaph. It hadn't been hidden gold, but simply Ginzo's stockpile, and it was still Ginzo's property, which meant it would be naturally distributed after Kinzo's death with the rest of the inheritance. Once they made the claim, Ava's group once again stated, demanding to be allowed to see Kinzo. It had probably been obvious to them from the beginning. This sibling fight could only be settled by Kinzo. This was obviously a confrontation between Ava's group, which wanted cash fast, and Kraus, who was hiding his lack of funds but still didn't need money right away. As he listened vaguely to this exchange, Battler marveled at how, despite their usual affluent airs, they were surprisingly deep in debt.
それもさっき聞いた話ではないかね。もういい。休止しよう。お互い一度した話を延々と繰り返しているだけだ。
According to the clock, it was almost 12, midnight. It was certainly a perfect time for a break. The atmosphere relaxed just a bit.
同感や。お互い一服するのも悪くないで。ほな以後は議事を取りながらにせんか。言った言わないはもうごめん。
6 people are about to die.
まったくだわ。下の根も乾かないうちにそんなことは言ってないなんて。平気で言い出す兄さんとの会議に議事録は必須だものね。文字じゃ書くのも手間だし、インチキだっていくらでもできるわ。
そうだね、兄貴。こいつは動くのか。オーディオセットかね。
Ooh, are they gonna find something on there?
それならば議事を手書きせずに済むし、捏造もできんね。互いにとって公平だ。
勝手にいじらないように。当主様の大切な音楽テープですよ。
There's something on those tapes. The dignified tape set had a sense of weight to it that matched this majestic dining hall perfectly. On pleasant Sunday mornings, it would sometimes be used to play famous tapes or records. However, right now, it was the most neutral, impartial conference recorder keeper around. Rudolph fished randomly around the cassette rack, searching for a blank tape. And every time he found some tape with sophisticated music on it, he complained about how pompous it was. Oh, they about to find something, right?
失礼します。お呼びでしょうか。
休憩することになったの。申し訳ないんだけど、何か飲み物を用意してもらえないかしら。ビスケットみたいなものがあったらい
Imagine
い
he's
か
like,
もね。
hell nah, B.
かしこまりました。すぐにご用意いたします。
あと、風邪薬あるかしら。さっきから熱っぽくて。
Yep.
なら無理は良くない
Second to be
な。
important.
休みたまえ。
ローザがいいと思うなら好きに休めば。私ならこの大事な会議中に風邪くらいじゃ休まないけどね。
そうかね。私は遠慮なく休ませてもらうよ。夏日、私たちも少し休まないかね。
はい、あなた。
Seeing that he meant to have a strategy meeting, Natsui stood up. Even if that hadn't been the case, she was so desperate to get out of the room, even for a moment, that she didn't take in any excuse. Kurosa and Natsui left the dining hall, and the tension in the room truly relaxed. Imagine being a battler who's like, just chilling there.
バトラ君もお疲れ様。最悪の気分でしょ。大人の階段だと思って諦めて。
俺はいつまでここでボサーっとしてりゃいいんすかね。
さあ、バトラ君は私たちのおみこしだからね。眠い？
古典の授業程度には。
今夜はどうせお父さんは現れないでしょう。
I don't think he's ever shown up.
クラウス兄さんたちが戻ってきたら、バトラ君はもう戻っていいかと提案してみるわ。
よろしく頼むぜ。
A light knock, and the faint sound of china clanging together could be heard.
失礼します。
お茶をお持ちいたしました。
Shannon Cannon had come by with a serving cart. The pleasant smell of black tea had the effect of relieving a bit of tension.
よ、話は聞いてるか？
何のお話でしょうか？
僕たちは何も。
よしなさい、ルドルフ。教える必要は何もないわ。
Like they're gonna be able to get all that gold off the
僕たちは
freaking island anyways.
親族会議のお話には関心ありません。
そうね。それが賢い返事だわ。
深夜勤なの？大変ね。そういうお役目ですので、ご用命いただけて嬉しいです。
そうかもし
So
れん
who's gonna
な。
die? Cannon, Shannon, Hideyoshi, Ava, Kraus, and his boo. I just blanked on her name. I'm
す
assuming
る
that's
こと
gonna
も
be
な
the
く
six.
ぼんやり起きてる方がしんどいもんや。わしも下積み時代に倉庫番とかやったことあるんやけどな。ただ起きてるだけでもこれがとにかく辛いんや。戦争直後はな、物資泥棒とかゾロゾロおってな、警察も頼れん時代でとにかく物騒でな。
Hideyoshi was particularly proud of how he'd start with nothing and build up assets by illegally diverting goods from the American army. Once the subject came up, Hideyoshi tended to get pretty talkative. The relatives who knew this were greatly relieved to see that the perfect sacrifice had come up.
バレたら一大じゃ。アメさんは怖いで。牛肉食っとるからパワーも桁違いや。
Oh my gosh.
捕まったら最後銃殺刑かデスバイハンギングや。わかるか？デスバイハンギング。いや、それでな、わしは思うたんや。肉や、肉や。日本人はもっと肉を食わなあかん。そしてわしは胃袋をつかむ商売を始めなあかんという典型を
That is an
受けたんや。
interesting. Shit's like, thanks, bro.
それは、
大変なお仕事ですね。
よしなさいよ、あなた。戦後生まれにいくら話しても、当時の苦労なんか伝わらないわよ。
ん？またわしの悪い癖が出てしもうたな。すまんすまん。
あなたたちもお茶をしていきなさいよ。たまには自分たちがどういう紅茶を入れてるか、その下で学ぶのもいい勉強になると思うわ。
いえ、結構です。
No way I'd have the midnight shift and not be able to have some
お
tea.
気遣いなく。
少し付き合ってくれよ。大人ばかりで、俺も窒息しそうなんだ。
そら、次期当主のバトラ様のご命令だぞ。
Oh, he just gave it away.
そこに座って、俺たちとしばらくお茶しろい。それで、最近の出来事とか趣味とか、見てるテレビとか、若者の今の流行りとか、そういう話をし
This
やがる。
dude hardly has a normal kid's life, but
俺たちの勉強になるからな。
明暗ね。ほら、二人とも座って。そして話題に飢えた私たちの生贄になってちょうだい。
そうやな。若い子と話をしよう思たら、キャバクラでもいかんと、この年では難しいわ。
いつまでぼさっと突っ立ってんのよ。ルドルフが座れと命令したわ。座りなさいよ。私も許可してあげるわ。
after getting Ava's permission, Shannon and Cannon looked at each other and finally obeyed nervously. For a while, the two were pounded by questions, and became the relatives' playthings. Then, a reserved knocking sound could be heard. All the servants tended to knock in a similar manner, so no one found it strange. However, Shannon and Cannon turned around with surprised looks on their faces. The servants here today included two of them. The two of them, Genji, Kumasawa, and Goda. Goda had the midnight shift at the guest house. Kumasawa had gone to bed in the spare room in the guest house. The two of them were right here, so Genji was the only person left. But they knew very well that couldn't be Genji to knock like that.
誰だ？開いてるぜ。勝手に入れよ。
Rudolph didn't recognize the knock either. When he asked who is it, it became apparent that no one knew whose knock it was. After that, the same knock knock repeated just once more. Okay, now I'm getting nervous. Could it be someone had their hands full and was asking that the door be opened for them? Is it a vampire? They need to be invited in? As a slightly odd feeling began to encompass the room, the sound of a large clock at the call could be heard. It was a sign that October 4th had ended and October 4th had begun. That's not good. Let's step back in time a bit, of course. At this time, Cress and Natsuya were a ways off in a deserted corridor on the second floor.
もうそれしか手はないのかね。
はい。明日一日、同じ手はもはや通用しないでしょう。これ以上を渋れば、エヴァさんたちはお父様を監禁しているなどと主張して、警察に訴える可能性さえあります。もう、これが限界です。バトラ君が黄金を発見するのが全く想定外でした。
Yeah, they definitely got screwed over by that.
なんとかうまくやりくりできる筋書きを考えていたのですが。
私がかけるといつもこうだ。
It's fair. It does.
いつも想定外のことが起き、絶対確実だった話がおかしくなる。
明日の朝、お父様の部屋が空っぽであるということにします。源氏と口裏を合わせ、早朝に森へ出かけていくのを見たと言わせましょう。
その思想を
Yeah, I wouldn't accept that. That's shady as hell.
客も承知です。しかしもうそれしか手がありません。
そのようなことをすればエヴァたちは疑わしいと騒ぎ立てるだろう。エヴァたちは金をせしめるためならなりふりなど構わない。それこそおかしな雑誌とつるんで私の信用にダメージを与えてくるかもしれない。
ダメージで済むではありませんか。
I don't. It's kind of in their interest, isn't it, to make Battler the head and still get the stuff? I feel like, but
万一にもお父様の秘密を知られたらそれどころでは済みません。
明日一日をギリギリまで粘ってからでも遅くはない。もしも明日を無事に乗り切ることができれば、私たちは何も失うものはないのだ。
greedy with this, I feel.
焦って失踪という切り札を切る必要はない。
彼らがお父様を監禁していると騒ぎ立て、そこに失踪していたと返すのですか。その方がはるかに疑いを招きます。
Because he doesn't really need money now either. He just needs like a little. I feel like they're being stupid here.
もうお父様にこれ以上は無理です。
落ち着きたまえ。エヴァたちの毒気を浴びすぎて冷静を失っただけだ。あの書斎に入る鍵は2本しかない。そしてその2本はここに君が持っている。だから誰も入ることなどできん。あの扉は特別製だ。彼らが倉庫からどんな工具を持ってこようともびくともせんよ。
そういう物理的な問題ではありません。
だから焦るな。落ち着け。なんなら君は熱を出したことにして寝込んでいてくれればいい。その間に私が全て乗り切ってみせる。
Dude, I trust Krauss to do absolutely nothing.
あなただけに任せられません。私も最後まで戦います。
When Natsui could no longer hold back tears brought to her by fierce emotions, Krauss held her gently. Just how long had it been since the last time she'd felt the warmth of her husband's compassion?
頭痛がひどいのだろう。君がそういうシワを眉間に浮かべるときはいつもそうだ。
あなた。
She had come to think that her husband could never guess the way she felt. But at times like this,
失踪という切り札は最後の最後まで待とう。殿下の報道と同じだよ。抜かないうちが花だ。大事なのはいつでも抜けるという心構えではないかね。
それは分かっています。
その切り札を私に預けてくれんかね。
I don't trust this guy to handle anything.
もちろん最後の瞬間の責任は全て私が取る。君とジェシカは巻き込まん。
Well, that's good at least.
それはどういう意味ですか。
後ろ宮家が滅ぶ時、その瓦礫に潰されるのは私だけで十分だ。台風が過ぎたら離婚届を準備しよう。
Oh, wow, okay.
それに捺印し君に預けておく。内緒で君の名義にしてある
Well, that's
財
good
産
of him at least.
さらにそれに慰謝料を加えれば君とジェシカは不自由なく暮らせるはずだ。
嫌です。 私の墓碑に刻むべき名は後宮夏日です。どうか最後の瞬間までご一緒に。たとえあなたが後宮家最後の当主であろうとも。夏日を最後までどうか。当主夫人であなたの妻でいさせてください。
Am I crazy for thinking they're dumb for not just agreeing to the thing where Battler is the successor? Oh. Yeah, because he will take over the house, right? I'm sure there's some ways they could finagle stuff. Krause's existence was founded solely upon the trust and power of his assets as a financial fixer. If either of those weakened, nothing would remain. If they could use the trump card of Kinzo's disappearance, they would lose those two essential supports. It was like offering your right arm in exchange for your neck being cut. It was probably better than losing your head, but you still might die from the bullets. Yeah, just give them the gold. That's what it's. And even if the off chance that you did survive, you have to bear a heavy wound that wouldn't heal for the rest of your life. Krause was prepared for even death. Understanding this, Natsui buried her face in Krause's chest and cried. The sudden appearance of Genji's voice made Natsui jump back and hurriedly wiped the tears from her eyes. Krause stood in front of Natsui, shielding her.
Genji-sanか。驚かせないでくれたまえ。何か用かね。はい。申し訳ございませんが、奥様にご報告が。
私に、あなた。
構わんよ。
Krause left Natsui's side, went to a window a short ways off, and gazed at the window. Oh, the person who called. And Rainy Rose Garden. Natsui went with Genji to a place a short distance away.
何事ですか？
はい。実はまた奥様にお電話が。
It's come from the house. At that moment, a sudden eerie sound surprised her. It was a large clock in the hall sounding midnight.
まさかまたあの男なのですか？
はい。いかがいたしましょう。
Well, he about to kill everyone in that room.
要件は何だと言っていますか？
お答えいただけません。奥様と直接お話ししたいとの一点張りでございます。
Again, a phone call from a man who claimed to be taking revenge of something that happened 19 years ago. "19 years ago. That was just 1 year before Jessica and Battler were born. In Natsui's eyes, the gap between 19 years ago and 18 years ago was immense. For a long time, she had been unable to fulfill her role of creating the successor of the Ushiromi family and had been treated very coldly. But then, she finally gave birth to Jessica and became able to call herself the Ushiromiya successor's wife, and with her head held high. So in her eyes, Ushiromiya Natsui began 18 years ago. That's why everything before that, including the events of 19 years ago, contained nothing but hateful memories. So she was married then, right? And something from the last year of that hateful period is whispering vengeful words from the other end of the phone. I can still hear the roar of the sea.
いかがなさいますか？
私の部屋に転送しなさい。主人には内密に。
かしこまりました。
From the very beginning, Genji had guessed that she wouldn't want Krause hearing about the phone call. That's why he had told Natsui covertly. Netsui ordered that he transfer the call, told Cross that she would turn in for the night, and left at a quick pace. She returned to her room and locked the door. There was nothing peculiar about that. In the Ushiromi family, hallways are like public roads. There's no special meaning to locking the door when you enter your own room. This is what she told herself. Then, as though it had been waiting for her, the telephone rang. Again, she had probably transferred the call. She took a deep breath, readied herself, and picked up the receiver.
もしもし。
Again, it started with silence. She realized that the person on the other end was trying to irritate her and make her feel uncomfortable, and she got angry.
どうして黙っているのですか。切ります。
切るなよ、母さん。もう少し声を聞いていたいんだからさ。
Again, that unpleasant voice.
私を愚弄する気ですか。要件を追いなさい。
母さんと遊びたい。
何を言っているんですか、あなたは。
親族会議で疲れたんだろ。持病の頭痛がだいぶ辛いんじゃないか。
This is disturbing.
余計なお世話です。
Just the fact that he knew her headache was troubling her made a shiver run up her spine.
頭痛になるのは頭が凝ってるからだ。そのままベッドに入ったっていい夢は見られないよ。
だから余計なお世話だと言っています。切りますよ。
Natsui forcefully yelled that she was hanging up, but in actuality she couldn't. After all, being that the receiving end of the phone call was much better than an alternative. She hung up violently. This person might call someone else.
頭のこりをほぐすためにちょっと時間は取らせない。
あなたと遊ぶ気などありません。
母さんの名前はナツヒ。名前に季節を持ってるね。いい名前だ。でもナツヒだからって夏が好きとは限らない。母さんが本当に好きな季節はなんだよ。
それをあなたに教えると
教えてくれないならいいのかい。
It was clearly a threat. It meant that if she forcefully hung up the phone, anything might happen. Humiliated, she was forced to give a threat by a man whose name she didn't even know. She gave him the answer he wanted. I guessed that right. The leaves?
過ごしやすい季節だからです。
Okay, that's a weird answer.
他に特に理由はありません。これで満足ですか。
ああ、やっぱり母さんの好きな季節は俺と同じだった。俺も秋が好きなんだ。
嘘つき。出任せを言うんじゃありません。
Surely this man would have said the same thing no matter which season I said I liked. What is he after? What is so fun about making me uncomfortable like this?
嘘つきなんてひどいな。出任せなんかじゃない。俺は母さんが秋が好きだって確信してたんだろ。証拠を見せて。
証拠？
ああ、母さんの部屋に時計はあるかい？
時計？ええ、ありますが、それが何か。
In Natsui's room, there's a beautiful antique clock with an intricate design. Kressa bought it for her as a birthday present long ago.
今は0時7分です。
It has like autumn leaves on it, maybe?
もう眠いので、茶番を早く終わらせなさい。
その時計、持ち上げてみてよ。
どうしてです？
俺の言うことにお前は歯向かうんじゃないよ。黙って言われて。
I like how there's no clock on the thing. The tone of the man's voice suddenly went low, turning into a threat. It made his displeasure clear. At first, this man seemed to have a calm way of speaking, but on the inside, that wasn't the case at all. If she enraged this man even a little more, he would surely show his true nature right away.
そんなに電話を切られない。こうしてあんたに電話をしてるうちが花なの。あんたが19年前にしたことを、俺はいつだってあんたの旦那や娘に話すことができる。
I was guessing that she was already married, but does she have a kid? How does she have a kid without Kraus knowing?
あなたが何の話をしているか知りませんが、夫や娘を巻き込まないでください。こうして私が電話を聞いていますから。
My head was filled with the pain from my headache, the sound of the beating heart, and the roar of the sea. I can't disobey him anymore. As the man had ordered, I lifted up the antique clock. There lay what appeared to be a single playing card. Is it the warranty for the clock? Thinking this, she took it and turned it over. What is it?
眠気冷めたかい？
どうしてこんな。
あんたの途中が少しは聞いたなら嬉しいんだけどな。嬉しいって言ってよ。母さん。
どうやってこれを。どうして。どうやって。
嬉しいですって言ってほしいな、この人殺しめ。よくも潔癖な奥様面ができるもんだぜ、ヘドが。そのヘド、あんたの夫や娘にもぶち分けられたい。嫌だろ。黙っててほしいだろ。ああ、黙っててやるよ。ほら、嬉しいだろ。嬉しいだろ。
嬉しいです。嬉しいです。
What the heck is on that card?
やめて。夫と娘に構わないで。何が要求ですか。お金ですか。いくらですか。
金なんか欲しくない。俺の傷は金をいくらにしたって癒せない。だが薬なら。そうだ、それは軟膏みたい。ねっとりドローだ。糸のそれは俺のんだ。
Okay.
そいつを塗ってるしか。だけが抑えられないんだよ。
Natsui never had anything so hateful said to her in her entire life, so she suspected many times that she must have been having some sort of bad dream. However, this definitely wasn't a dream.
あなたはまさかこの島にいるのですか。
Oh, he's there.
ああ、約束しただろう。親族会議には出る。
不可能です。この台風では来られるわけもありません。
台風になる前から来てれば問題はないよ。それに台風の最中であってもエリカとかいう来客があった。
How does this guy know about Erica? Her blood froze. Furuta Erica had supposedly been brought here by coincidence. If he knew the name, he probably would have to be very close by.
あなたはどこに。
あんたの紹介がないうちは誰の前にも現れないさ。安心しな。おっと、俺を探しても無駄だよ。あんたの屋敷は広い。電話だってそこいら中にあるしな。
I said he was calling from
俺
inside.
に会いたくないだろ。それとも俺を見つけ出してみんなに紹介してくれるんだ。ジェシカにも紹介してくれよ。一つの兄です。
やめて。ジェシカに構わないで。
怖がらせすぎだから 今夜はこれで勘弁してやるよ。だが、あんたは俺に逆らえない。分かってるな、母さん。今夜はこれで電話を。
I wonder if they maybe adopted someone. Realized because he was adopted, he wasn't going to be able to take in the thing, and then they gave him back. I don't. Maybe she had an affair with her servant. I'm trying to figure out.
何ですか？
あんたは今夜もその部屋を出てはならないし、どこにも電話がかかってきても取ることも許さねえぜ。そして今すぐ明かりを消し、布団をかぶって寝ろ。そしていつもの時間に起床しろ。健康的な生活でいいな。母さんの体をいたわるなんて、本当に俺は親孝行者だよ。
This guy's a real creep.
わかります。今すぐ出ます。部屋も出ました。電話も出ました。だから夫と娘には。
母さんが俺の命令を守る限り、あんたの秘密は守ってやるよ。命令を破る。俺はもうお前のすぐ近くにいる。部屋の明かりが消えるかどうか、そして電話をしているかどうかさえ、俺さえ望むなら。
Oh, that's creepy as hell.
あんたの寝顔にキスすることだってできるんだから。
守ります。約束は守ります。だからやめて、もうやめて。
It's just hard for me to imagine her having an affair with Krause. But maybe she didn't become like a ride or die until after the affair, but that's not. As she screamed, Natsuya took the card she had found under her clock and crushed it up into a little ball. It had a pattern on it like a tarot card, and also the kanji for autumn. Let's step back in time once again. Right now is the exact moment the large clock in the dining hall announced to midnight, wondering who the person who knocked twice was. The relatives in the dining hall stared at the door. Well, it couldn't be that guy, right? Because he was on the phone when Rudolph told them to come in. There was no answer. Until the end of the long tone marking the arrival of midnight, which had come from the large clock in the hall shortly after the knock. They were unable to move in the slightest.
手が塞がってて開けられないんじゃないのか。
かもな。
I doubt that.
だが名乗らねえってのは薄気味悪いな。
That's...
開けますか。
開けなさい。
Yeah, of course. Cannon nodded back and slowly opened the door. So is this going to be a new character?
それは
これは親父の封筒
Weird. Right behind the open door on the floor of the hallway lay the envelope.
廊下には誰もいません。これを置いて立ち去ったのでしょうか。
I mean, I guess they can run back and forth. The adults flew out into the corridor as well, but they could find no traces of anyone who might have knocked on the door. Just about an hour ago, Shannon and Cannon had come to serve tea. At that time, everyone had seen nothing lay in that spot. Someone came, knocked, left the envelope with the mark of the one-winged eagle on it, and left.
まさか親方様でしょうか。
考えられない
Unless
話
the
じゃないわ。
clocks are not matched up?
この屋敷で誰と呼ばれて返事をしないの
I mean, I
は
guess the
お父
ghost
様くら
thing
い
a
だもん。
father could do it? Maybe, I mean...
ありえないわ。ならどうしてお父様は堂々と入ってこないの？
そうやな。お父さんだったらノックなどせず、今このお屋敷は戸締まりがされとるんやろ。 ならここに手紙を置くことができるのはクラウスさんか夏日さん、そして源氏さんの誰かしか考えられんで。
By this point, the mansion had been completely locked up. Therefore, the cousins in the guest house, Nanjo, Goda, Kumisawa, and Erika, could not have come here. Furthermore, since Kraus, Natsui, and Genji were the only three who weren't in this room, one of those three had been in the one who set the letter down in the corridor. So it's very likely that Kraus and the others had placed the letter to make it seem like a message from Kinzo.
なるほどね。お父様の名を語ってバトラ君を次期当主に認めないみたいなことが書いてあるのよ。バカバカしい兄さんめ、よくもこんな子供騙しを。
Or just open the letter.
別に俺は次期当主なんて興味ねえぞ。
諦めろ、それがお前の運命なんだよ。とにかく中身を読んでみよう。
Thank you, Rudolph. Rudolph set the letter on the dining table and let everyone see the front and back to show there's no tricks and hidden mechanisms, almost like a magician does before performing his act.
この封筒は間違いなくお父様の封筒なの？
ええ、間違いないわ。お父様が新書に好んで使う封筒よ。どう、シャノンちゃん。
私の目にも親方様が使われる封筒に見えます。
だからってお父様が書いたってことにはならないわよ。兄さんならお父様の書斎の引き出しからひょいと手に入れることなんて造作もない話だわ。
クラウス様とて容易に封筒を盗み出すなど難しい。
開けてみようぜ。それから考えても遅くないはずだ。何か入ってるな。なんだろうな。
Rudolph opened the envelope a bit roughly, then unfolded a letter. A glittering object fell out. It was a ring. The ring to do the thing for the head.
ちょっと、その指輪。
Ava noticed it immediately and grabbed at it.
これ、お父様の指輪よ。当主の指輪だわ。
ほんまか。
間違いなくレプリカということは？
これは本物よ。私はいつかこの指輪を自分の指に通してやるとずっとお父様が指にしてた時から、私はこれはお父様の指輪よ、間違いなく。どうしてここに？
じゃあやっぱりこの手紙はお父様が。
Or he's been dead.
こりゃ差出人は親父じゃねえぞ。もっと面白い。
じゃあ
Beatrice?
誰からの手紙だってんだ。
後ろ宮家顧問錬金術師黄金の魔女ベアトリーチェ様からだぜ。
Rudolph showed everyone the part of the letter where that was written, and really did say that.
ベアトリーチェから？
なんて書いてある？
読むぞ。コングラッチュレーションズ。バトラ様が碑文の謎を見事に解かれ黄金鏡にたどり着きましたことを認めます。黄金はすべてバトラ様のものです。そして後ろ宮家の新しき当主もバトラ様です。その証として金蔵様よりお預かりしている当主の指輪をお送りします。どうぞバトラ様、指輪をされて新しい黄金の主となり、どうか新しき当主のご活躍を心よりお祈りいたしております。なんてこった。親父が書斎から出てこねえもんだから森の魔女ベアトリーチェが直接バトラを認めてくれたわけ。
This helps them.
バトラ君、この指輪はあなたが持つの。これが当主が身につけるべき特別な指輪。ベアトリーチェが何者か知らないけれど、彼女は一部始終を見届け、あなたが真の跡継ぎだと認めてこの指輪を贈ったのよ。
いいんすか？
Well, no one. Everyone who agrees is in this room.
こんな重要な指輪を。
ああ、いいん
Of
だ。
course.
誇らしげに指にはめるといい。いいか、兄貴や夏日さんが外せと言っても絶対に外すんじゃねえぞ。
All the relatives with creepy smiles on their face urged Battler to put the ring on his finger. It looked like the thing would get pretty nasty if I refused, so Battler reluctantly decided to put it on his middle finger of his left hand. The ring was heavy and stiff. At that moment, Kraus returned. Genji came back as well, shortly behind him.
申し訳ないね。妻は具合が悪そうだったので、先に休ませ。何かあった
Did something happen? Yeah, you're damn right.
なんだか諸君がひどく慌ただしいよ。
It's gonna be like, is this like the ring for Lord of the Rings?
バトラ様、それは。
Immediately, Genji spotted that which Battler had just put on his finger.
さすが源氏さんや。これが誰の指輪かわかるようやな。
何の話だね。
Judging by Krauss's dubious expression, it seemed unlikely that he was the one who placed the letter there. Furthermore, that expression quickly changed into shock.
そうよ、後ろ宮家当主の指輪よ。
The family's conference took up this new topic, and the storm came once again. Jeez, that was a bit unnecessary, how long that took. The rain was still pouring down as hard as ever. This weather was supposed to... Actually, I'm going to stop right here because I feel like this is a good stopping point. Okay. Yeah, I mean, this is a crazy episode. Wow. Yeah, I don't know what... So, yeah, we flash forward to 3 a.m. now. So, I don't know what the hell's going to be happening there. But, yeah, things just got extra crazy. There's just so much. We have Natsui's possibly estranged son, who's being ordered by someone to do all these... make her do certain things. Beatrice supposedly gave the ring to Battler. I mean, there's just a lot going on. So things are getting super spicy. No one has died yet, which is significant. I feel like by this time, every single that we know of, I should say, by this time, every single episode, someone has 6 people have died. I think by midnight. So if I'm wrong, let me know in the comments below. But yeah, let me know your guys' thoughts. Thanks.